Taste to Consider podcast. We are back for another episode. Yes, indeed, we are back for another episode. This is Taste to Consider podcast. Let me officially introduce the show. It's a Taste to Consider podcast. I'm your host, Derek Silver, and we are back for another episode 102. Yes, 102 episodes. Back for another episode. I ain't even realized last episode that I didn't officially introduce the show. Hey, sometimes that be happening. I'm going to blame it on Mercury retrograde. As Scott says, my man Scott from Unprocessed Knowledge, check out his podcast. He got 2 new episodes out. Scott always says Mercury Gatorade. But we back for another episode. Shout out to the UNU Network. Like I said, Unprocessed Knowledge. Separate the 2 podcasts. Reservation for 3 podcasts, 3 stars, 2 bars podcast, and of course me, a Taste to Consider podcast. Yes, we're back for another episode. Shout out to all the subscribers, listeners, followers, all y'all. Shout out to all the new subscribers, all the new followers. I seen you on YouTube and all that good stuff. I just released episode 3 of Taste Reviews Drink Edition. So check that out. I released it last night. So make sure y'all check it out. I appreciate all the people who have watched the show, all the new subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling the love. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it coming. Make sure you like, subscribe, download, follow, share. Do all them good things. Do all them things that show your support. Yes, we're back for another episode. Oh, man. I was things always change when it comes to the show. I had a song planned already for the pod, but in the midst of me pre-gaming, I was in my fabulous mode, so I had to play a fabulous song in the intro. So, yeah, here we go. Another episode. Yes, indeed. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm feeling pretty good, back-to-back episodes. I ain't take no break this time. I know y'all happy about that. But I got content coming every week. That's what it's planned. That's the plan. Every week some content, whether it's the podcast. The podcast should be every week. The summer is ending, so ain't going to be that much running around and stuff. So I should be having the pod every week. But, I will be releasing the Taste Reviews Drink Edition every other week. So, y'all got content for the YouTube page. Make sure y'all check out the YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe. Taste to Consider Network. So just type that in YouTube. You got everything right now in the podcast and the drink reviews. So the plan is to have more content coming as, I grow and move the network, the page on Instagram and all that good stuff, and my main page, my network page, and even on Twitter, I'm on there heavy. So yeah, I appreciate all the support. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, download, all that good stuff. Comment, send in stuff. You can donate to the show as well. Cash App, RIP 81 is my Cash App. So yeah. Shout out, I'm international. A Taste to Consider podcast is international. Like a couple of weeks ago, I kept forgetting to mention this, but I've always had listeners in Africa. I had listeners in New Zealand, and some other countries other than America. But yeah, shout out to Africa, particularly the continent Africa, but the country Zambia. I found out, and I'm pretty big in Zambia. Well, at least the past couple of months, I've been big in Zambia. So yeah, shout out to all the listeners over there. I appreciate you. yeah, just, you know what I'm saying? Keep rocking with me. So we gonna get into this episode right now. You know what I'm saying? I got a episode planned out for you. Y'all know how I do. I got my outline and everything like that. Um, so let's get right into the topics. Let me see where I'm at right now. Okay. So I got a clip. I'm gonna start off with a clip. So you know the show always expanding as you go along. So for all the people out there who want to do any type of content or want to do anything, right? You know what I'm saying? Just do it. Don't wait for it to be perfect or nothing like that. You'll change things as you go. You'll expand as you go and all that other stuff. I'm a one man show right here, and things change all the time. Even with the taste reviews drink edition, I had that idea years ago, and I just never did it because I wanted everything to be perfect. But you know what I'm saying? I had to just sit my ass down and just say, go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? I got the camera, I got the lights, I got the microphone. Shoot, just go ahead and do it. Um, you got the glasses, you got some ice. Shoot, all you gotta do is buy the bottles. So yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing the taste reviews. You know, I know for sure it's going to the setup and everything is going to change because I already got ideas for how I actually want the show to look. But I just had to start, and I'm getting good feedback from it so far. Even with me not feeling totally comfortable with it or not my final outcome of things, but just do it. Just do it. And you just never know. You just never know how things going to change. That idea you had in your mind might change, and just do it. Just do it. Just do it. That's not going to be the title of the show, though. So I'm going to start off with a clip. Y'all know how I do. I got clips for days. So I'm going to start off with this clip right now. This is Sukihana. I don't know if everybody know who she is, but she's obviously somebody. So, but I'm going to play this clip, and we're going to get to rocking. Let's go.
Let me tell you something about these men in the world.
Bruh.
Men are the highest in the nursing homes.
What?
Let me tell you why. That the moms and the grandmoms and the aunties and the sisters are all being taken care of out here in these streets, and they got people to nourish them and make sure they straight when they get old. And the men is the only ones in the nursing home.
Cap.
They deadbeats. They don't take care of their children. They cheat on their women. They cheat on their wives with men. They don't help their family members. As soon as they get money, they get their girlfriend. They take care of their girlfriend. They don't take care of their mom. Their mom house falling apart. Roofs is filled with water and black mold.
All that sounds good, but fuck them feelings. Let's talk about facts. What demographic tends to populate nursing homes the majority of the time? Survey says.
And they want to be outside flying these streets taking drugs. And guess what? In the end, after they done cheated on everybody, done been disloyal to their children, but want to be loyal to their homeboy. If you're not loyal to your children, you're not loyal.
Period. See, a lot of women online's viewpoints tend to be very solipsistic, meaning they can't see past their own experiences. No other reality exists outside of theirs. Is it a fact that men of poor character exist?
Yes.
Yes. But women oftentimes pick poor character men and then generalize all men based on their decisions.
Facts.
Anyway, keep going.
Y'all do anything for y'all homeboy, but when y'all get locked up, y'all want to call y'all baby moms and y'all women. But after all that you done did, you gonna get old, and guess what? Your dick gonna stop working. And you gonna need Viagra. And guess what? You're gonna be sitting in a nursing home, and you have a nurse taking care of you, and won't nobody call you. Just like when you get locked up in jail, don't nobody call your ass, and they don't answer no motherfucking phone calls, and they don't put no money on your commissary because bitches is tired of y'all, and y'all kids can't stand you.
It's easy to come online and just project and say a bunch of anecdotal shit that doesn't really add up to anything. There's no real facts, just total baseless projections. It's also easy to listen to a rapping, self-proclaimed prostitute. Her words, not mine.
First of all, I come from a long line of tricks and hoes, a long line of selling pussy. I'm not the first one.
Spoke about things that she probably isn't well researched in. I'm sure she never was a nurse, hasn't worked in a nursing home, and she probably hasn't interviewed any of the male patients of the nursing home to ask them why they're there. Who cares? Because if it resonates with your trauma, then it's automatically true, right? It's easier to believe that the nursing homes are filled with ex-inmate deadbeats that are drug users and only stay loyal to their homeboys. But I want to know what y'all think. Stay focused and always remember that it's a dirty game. Stay focused.
and that's straight facts right there. The cliche word that's being thrown around these days is era. The era that we live in today, the social media era, is people just be throwing around stuff and proclaiming it as facts, but it just be their feelings. It just be their feelings. There's no logic or no data behind this. It's just an emotional point of view. It's unbiased, it's subjective, and that's what I always be talking about. Like, that's why I say I don't debate. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time debating with anybody because most people don't know what debating means. Debating is based off of facts, factual information. I'll have a conversation with you. I'm open to any conversation, but that don't mean I got to agree with it. That don't mean I got to rock with it. And even if I don't agree with it, that don't mean I don't rock with you. That just means I don't agree with it. But the era that we live in today is that if your opinion, whatever statement you're making, whatever experience you have, if it doesn't resonate with somebody else or it isn't pandering or anything like that, then it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be speaking. We in the content creator era right now, so everybody's making content, and which I don't have a problem with. But you have to understand and know who to listen to and who not to listen to. Well, it ain't even listen to. You can listen to whoever you want it to. But are you going to believe it? Are you going to be a critical thinker, or are you just going to follow behind it because this person is popular? Right? There's you gotta have some type of emotional intelligence, some type of just main intelligence, some objectivity, critical thinking skills to navigate in this world. But majority of the people in this world ain't doing that. So we're gonna move on to another popular person. You can't even call these people celebrities today because it's a lot of people that are proclaimed celebrities, labeled celebrities, but aren't really celebrities. They just popular. But that is the social media era. That is the content creator era we live in right now. So let me move on to the next clip. Let me pull this one up. So give me a second. Here we go right here. This one is coming from another quote unquote celebrity who is just popular at the moment. Glorilla, another rapper, if that's what you want to call it. No shade, but I mean, hey, I'm older, so you know what I'm saying. I know I come from a different era of rap. So let me pull it up. Here we go.
And I just want to let y'all know, be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life. Live your toxic 20s. You never get to be 20 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, none of that ever again in your life. Be toxic, because don't get in your 30s thinking you could just go slashing tires and doing all this crazy shit. You too old for that now. You too mature. Be toxic for the rest of your 20s. And if you delusional, turn that shit up a notch. Enjoy the rest of your 20s. You only get to do this shit one time. Hey, ladies.
So this is what is being promoted. This is the type of stuff that's being promoted by these quote unquote celebrities, these people with popularity, these people with a big following, a big voice. This is what they putting out there for the black women. This is the type of shit right here. So she's saying you should be toxic in your 20s. What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that? Come on now. I'm 40. I'm 40. 41 years old. I be forgetting my age sometimes because I feel so young. I look so young. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a good. I'm in a good look, a good space, a good looking space, good shape, and all of that. But yeah, this is the times we live in. So I experienced my 20s already. I experienced my 30s, all that good stuff. And granted, yeah, most people are still immature in their 20s. There's still immature people in their 30s, still immature people in their 40s. I mean, I've experienced it all. But this is just crazy that this is the stuff that's being put out there and people are rocking with it just because the person got some popularity or the masses believe that they got money and stuff like that. So just because they popular or they in a bigger space or they got a few more dollars supposedly than the common folk, that the things that they say is right. Like I said, I've experienced my 20s already. I experienced my 30s. I'm in my early 40s. So, I mean, I get it. I get it because that's always kind of been the quote unquote culture in the black community to live this ratchet life and have fun. You know what I'm saying? If you live in ratchet, then you think it's fun. But doing all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? That living that ratchetness and all that ghetto, that quote unquote hood life and all that other stuff, it may seem fun, but it's nothing but a drug. It's a quick dopamine hit. You know what I'm saying? It's a quick high. Um, Me being older and experiencing things and being able to look back in my 20s and 30s, thank you, God. you know, the best moments of my life have always been experiences that came from love and peace. The times that I can actually, you know what I'm saying, remember and they put a smile on my face and, you know what I'm saying, bring nostalgia and all that other stuff have all been centered around love and peace. Those other times, those ratchet periods and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You have conversations with people you used to hang out with in your 20s and your 30s and stuff. You be like, damn, for real, I don't remember that and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You have like amnesia off these situations because they was only like some quick hits. They like all the times that you've gotten drunk or you gotten high, whatever vice you have, whatever vice you have, and you wake up the next day and you don't remember what happened. That's like those ratchet moments. That's like those hood moments, those ghetto moments or whatever. But this is the type of stuff that we celebrate and you know what I'm saying, we push out here. And people think that's Bible because the person is popular or they got some sort of celebrity or they you know what I'm saying, they showing that they got some type of money, financial gain from all of this. So this is what we follow. Cause I see it all the time where these type of women, these type of celebrities and stuff like that. And there's even it's guys too. Um, they got some celebrity or some popularity that be pushing this as well. You know what I'm saying? They be pushing this as well. And it's just like people be defending this. They be like, "Oh, I just love her personality. I love his personality and all that other stuff." It's just crazy. It makes no sense. It makes no sense that we keep following behind these people. I played plenty of clips, talked about it plenty of times. Malcolm X talked about how why is it that in the black community they always pushing the celebrities as our leaders, but you don't see that in any other communities. You don't see it. You don't see it at all. But it's interesting because like recently, a little viral, like I'm pretty active on Twitter as far as, you know what I'm saying, scrolling and, you know, looking at content and stuff. And a little viral tweet that popped up was women wanting quote unquote hood guys. And that went viral or whatever. And it was just interesting just to follow the conversation and stuff like that. So I'm going to go through some of the tweets that I screenshotted and stuff like that. So here it goes. It says, it's not, matter of fact, let me go to the main tweet that I saved that I started going through all of this stuff. Where's that at? Let me see. All right. Here's one in particular that kind of was interesting to me. Very interesting. It says it's not that she wants a quote unquote hood guy. She wants a man with personality. And for whatever reason, personality is what hood people do not lack. And this is new to me. Like I said, I've had plenty of experiences. I've been through my 20s and 30s. I've been around hood people, quote unquote, ghetto people and all that other stuff. Friends, family, associates, just random people I've been around. And I'm just like, how is it that they think that a quote unquote hood dude got personality or whatever? See, comes down to all of this programming and stuff like that. And a lot of these dudes who are portraying these characters, you know what I'm saying, they basically cosplaying. That ain't got nothing to do with no personality and stuff. They got to do with programming. We in the quote unquote black community, the quote unquote black culture, people are just mesmerized by this because that's what's always been pushed to us. I mean, I can remember that all the way back in the 90s and shit, watching the Boys in the Hood movie, Menace to Society, stuff like that. That seemed cool. That's the stuff that was been portrayed. It's just like coming up, all of the dudes and some of the rappers and stuff like that always was mesmerized and romanticized by the Italian mafia. They wanted to name themselves after them, wanted to be that person and stuff like that. They thought it was cool. Scarface, the Godfather movies, Goodfellas, Casino, all that stuff like that. The movie characters as well as the real people. You know what I'm saying? John Gotti, all of those people. This stuff was romanticized. You know, for some reason, our community romanticized that. We fell in love with that. These are the people that we wanted to emulate. These are the people that we wanted to be and stuff. And I'm not saying everybody, but that's mainly what the culture was. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't cool just to have a regular job. You want to get money quick and all that other stuff. Just me last night, I was watching the latest episode of The Chi, and one of the young dudes on the show, the characters on there, was talking about something. He want to make money fast. He don't want to work no regular job. His girlfriend was saying that she don't want to see him die and all that other stuff. And she was asking him, how long you going to do this and all that other stuff. And he was like, until, you know what I'm saying, I get this amount of money, it ain't going to be long. And we know all that stuff in real life is a lie. Because dudes get caught up. Shoot, even the day before that, I was watching a documentary on Paramount Plus about the Supreme Team. And if you don't know the Supreme Team, it was Kenneth McGriff and his crew back in the 80s and stuff like that. And then they even had ties to Murder Inc. record label and stuff like that. Had ties to 50 Cent with him being shot and all that other stuff. Like the mindset of these people, like particularly like the dude Kenneth McGriff, who was the head of the Supreme Team, he got out of jail, right? Irv Gotti, who was the president of Murder Inc., told him, you can come be the vice president of Murder Inc. And, you know what I'm saying, I'll give you a salary and all that other stuff. 6-figure salary, everything. The Bama said, nah, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because then I'm not gonna be Kenneth Supreme or whatever name he was going by at the time. He can only be that label or that title or that name. That name only hold weight if he was the boss. If he was the main boss. He couldn't be under nobody or whatever. And what happened? He ended up going back to jail. You know what I'm saying? Following that street life or whatever, worrying about holding on to a name or a title or a reputation and stuff like that. And it's just crazy that we just get so caught up into that stuff. But it's just to me it's sad because like most of us know this talk, this conversation or whatever that they be having around hood guys and good guys and stuff like that. And I'd be lying if I sat here and say that I've never been in a moment where I've been romanticized about that tough guy stuff and all that other stuff. But I ain't never want to go that far to be no gangster or no drug dealer and all that other stuff, because I've seen the consequences of that personally in my family and stuff like that. So I know that it leads to nowhere. And plus my mom and dad would whoop my ass. But yeah, that just never was me. But I understood, you know what I'm saying, why people would be romanticized by it and stuff like that. And it makes sense, especially with me getting older and understanding propaganda, programming and stuff like that, the system in place. And it's just sad that we so caught up into that and we think that's what we gotta, that's the only way. And I get it. Some people, if they haven't seen anything outside of that, then yeah, they're going to get caught up into it and only look at that's their only option. So I get it. I will never sit here and say that I don't understand. I've never been poor, you know, but I get it. I've been around enough people on both sides of the tracks to understand the decisions and the choices that they make. But yeah, it's crazy to see this conversation still happening while I'm in my 40s, for them to be saying that hood dudes got more personality or they cooler and stuff like that. But that says a lot about, you know what I'm saying, their mindset, their personality and all that other stuff. But it's just a sad situation that we still out here following these. It's people that's older than these two women, these two celebrities, these two rappers that's, you know what I'm saying, co-signing and stuff. It's just wild to me. And like some of the tweets was even saying like hood dudes are happier. Like that that is mind-boggling to me, because from my point of view, them niggas ain't happier. Them bammers is dealing with like a lot of mental issues, PTSD, depression, anxiety. And like I always say, I'm not a mental health professional, but one thing I know for sure is that I can see when somebody is dealing with some sort of mental illness. And a lot of dudes that's in those predicaments are dealing with a lot of traumas and stuff. But, you know, the world we live in today is pushing this quick excitement, this quick stimulation, this feeling protected, this quick money, fast money, trips, cars, materialistic type stuff, then that's what people is going to run to. It's like being addicted to toxicity, negativity, dysfunction, all that other stuff. People want to have that quick feeling of being alive and stuff. that quick fix of being, you know, having that excitement in that present moment. It's just quick hits. It really is. In our community, we got so many different type of drugs that aren't even are able to be physically seen. It just ain't the alcohol. It just ain't the coke, the heroin, and the weed and all that other stuff. It's attention, it's money, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's so many things that we looking to stimulate us, to get us out the dread or the sadness, the hopelessness, all that stuff. But let me move on from that. Let me see where I'm at right now. Yeah. Let me move on to the Blackety Black Woke segment. So I'm gonna start out. I'm gonna comment a little bit on the Trump stuff. So it's just all interesting with this Trump stuff, these indictments that's happening, and I don't find any. Let me say this first. I'm not a Trump supporter. I can care less about the Republicans or the Democrats. So whatever I say, I'm not defending Trump. I'm not defending the Democrats. I'm not defending the Republicans. But you have to be able to get out of your feelings and see that all of this stuff is by design, because they know that if they don't get Trump out the way, he gonna be in office again. And the Democrats are using every tactic that they can. And usually the Democrats always find a way to use a black person to do their bidding. And that's what is pretty much, I feel is going on in the situation in Georgia with the prosecutor, the black woman that is prosecuting Trump. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, even if it isn't by true design with the Democrats pushing her to do it, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, she wants to make a name for herself, and that's what she's doing. But let me play this clip right here. This is a clip of Amanda Seales. Amanda Seales talking about Democrats and Republicans and stuff. This is a very interesting clip because of how it starts off and then how it goes after that. Like I'll get into it. Let me play the clip.
Different argument, and then that tends to devolve to the people that feel that, well, it doesn't matter because Democrats and Republicans are the same,
which is also unintellectual.
Thank you. Am I allowed to speak on that?
Well, I think there's something to be said for the fact that there's a difference between similarities and the same. Yes. And I know that may seem very nuanced, but it's an important nuance because anytime people are in the same place, they will share similarities. Me and you share similarities. We are not the same.
Yes.
And it is a what's the word I'm looking for?
Disingenuous.
It's disingenuous, and it's disingenuous and simply just erroneous to suggest that we're the same, because we're just not. Like, you know, on the surface, deep, it's just not. So when we look at Democrats and Republicans, first of all, it is a straw man argument to talk about the past when the present is happening so loudly and in such a prevalent way. So you can tell me all day long about Joe Biden and the 94 crime bill, and I get it. I fucking get it. But it's 2023.
Do you?
Okay? And in 2023, I don't feel Joe Biden is showing up in 2023 the same way he was in 1994. But you know who is? An entire party. Okay? So there's that. I think there's also something to just really address in that you have one party that has a shared platform of oppression, and this is on a local and federal level, and it is being carried out through action, and it is being displayed through actual examples of gaslighting and lying, just all the time. Like, there's no shame in it. These people specifically asked for a specific special counsel to be assigned to Hunter Biden. They got what they asked for and then started a campaign of this person is corrupt.
Let me stop it here. What the hell does Hunter Biden got to do with that question? Okay. So let me start by saying, let me go back to the beginning with the show. People be so caught up into their feelings and rocking with a team or a side that they can't separate themselves, detach themselves from these emotions, these feelings. So she's all over the place at this point. She said Joe Biden, the 94 crime bill ain't no different than now. How isn't it? How isn't it? Ain't nothing changed for black people since Biden has been in office. Nothing. Nothing has changed. We haven't gotten anything. We still getting knocked upside our heads. We still the highest people going into jails and all this other stuff. Ain't nothing changed. So how is Biden different now than he was back then? He's still speaking the same shit. He was speaking the same shit before he got in the office when he told them black people on that Zoom call that I played on one of my past episodes that you ain't black if you don't vote for me. Shit, all the shit that he said when he was on the Breakfast Club, if you ain't black if you don't vote for me. The audacity, the entitlement in his voice when he was saying all this shit. We think she talk about straw man. Obama is basically a straw man. Kamala Harris is a straw man. Straw man. All these black people in these offices are straw man because they not representing us. The Congressional Black Caucus is straw man. They not representing us. They just there to be faces. They just there to be shields. They just there to be puppets. What does Hunter Biden got to do with this question? So
Can't even wrap my mind around.
yeah, you can't wrap your mind about it because you just so damn emotional off of the situation. So, of course, y'all know I make clips of myself when I have these thoughts or whatever. I don't want to lose these thoughts. So here's a clip, a quick little clip that I played after when I first seen this interview with Amanda Seales. Here we go.
The Republicans conservatively keep shit away from black people, while the Democrats liberally give it to everybody else but black people.
And I mean, that's what's going on. I would rather hear the Republicans say exactly what they doing, what they don't like, and all that other stuff. We know. I'd rather hear it, see it up front, so I can know how I'm going to move in this situation. But we blindly following behind these Democrats while they liberally giving out shit to everybody else, LGBTQ plus, Ukrainians, everybody else, Asian community, the Hispanic Latino community, but we just sitting here begging and fighting for these people who don't even give a fuck about us. They liberally giving it to everybody else but us. But you still rocking with them because you caught up into your feelings and you worrying about playing the side. This ain't no football game. This ain't no basketball game. This ain't no baseball game. This ain't wrestling. This real life. And like Malcolm said, rest in peace, we are political chumps. Moving along. Where I'm at. Blackety Black Woke segment. I'm going to save this one for next week. This one pretty long, so I'm going to just move on to this one. Paper straws deemed, quote, eco-friendly, end quote, contain potentially toxic chemicals which could pose a risk to people, wildlife, and the environment, a study has found. And how am I not surprised by this? But honestly, there's chemicals going on everywhere. They spraying chemicals in the sky, putting chemicals in our food, trying to get people to put juice in their body that's giving you blood clots and all this other stuff, and you're still catching the you know what, and yeah. But outside of that, Fuck them paper straws. Fuck them paper straws. Them paper straws is the stupidest invention ever. I've been saying this from the moment that they start bringing them damn things out. Them shits is stupid as hell. You got to damn near, you can't buy no extra large drink with no paper straw, because by the time you get to a quarter of drinking that damn drink, your damn paper straw gonna be soggy. Soggy ass straw. You sitting here drinking paper and soda at the same damn time. You got carbonated liquid with a paper ass straw. What sense does that make? So speaking of Hunter Biden moves into a $15,000 a month Malibu home, and his taxpayer-funded Secret Service detail into a $16,000 a month home nearby. Look, I can care less about if Trump go to jail, him getting arrested or whatever. All these Bammers is criminals. All these Bammers is using their power, their connections, their money to get by. And they shitting on us. Straight shitting on us. So that's the end of the Blackety Black woke segment. But just, you know what I'm saying? That's the end of the Blackety Black woke segment. So moving along to the meat of the show. The meat of the show. I got a clip for you. Let's go.
Number one thing that brothers are telling me in the counseling office that they want in their relationship is RESPECT. Let me tell you today what respect looks like to your man. Number one is admiration. Do you admire him as a man? Number two, appreciation. Do you appreciate him for who he is and for what he does? Number three, surrendering and submitting to his leadership, that you allow him to lead. Number four, respect says, I will pay you attention as my man. I will give you undivided attention. Number five, respect is, I will make myself available for you. Number six, I will keep myself attractive for you. Number seven, I will attend to your needs. And number eight, I will articulate your love language. Do yourself a favor and be sure that you are giving him the respect that he needs and deserves so that you can get the love that you want.
It's reciprocal. Everything has to be reciprocal. But, you know, just piggybacking off of last episode, you know, how we operate in our quote unquote community and how the culture represents itself and projects itself. You know, everything is transactional, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. And everybody is fighting for their position. Everybody is looking at everything from a black and white point of view, right or wrong perspective. And sometimes it calls for that. Sometimes you just have to get down to the nitty gritty. You just got to get down to what's right and what's wrong. But most of the time, there is a lot of gray area in place. And black men don't feel as though that they're loved, they're heard, they're seen, and that their efforts are appreciated or even reciprocated. And I'm not talking about all black men, because I know there's some ain't shit black men out there, just like there is some ain't shit black women out there. So if this is triggering you, then there might be a reason for that. And I get it. I'm not above being triggered off some shit that gotta deal with me. And you know what I'm saying, in my present walking life. You know, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Black women aren't perfect. Y'all have flaws. Black men have flaws. But we should be working as a team. That's why I always try to speak the term partnership when it comes to romantic relationships, because, you know what I'm saying, it's easy to relate to somebody. You can relate to anybody walking down the street. We all relating to each other in some form or fashion. But when you're in a romantic relationship, you're supposed to be partners. You're supposed to be working together. You're supposed to be a team. And a black man is much more than just protecting and providing. He has feelings. We got to get out of this programming, this way of thinking, this narrative and this projection that black men are just only worth a couple of things, that, you know what I'm saying, we're basically feeling as though that we're tools, you know. But we're responsible for that as well. We got to stop conducting ourselves in that manner. And a lot of dudes can't get themselves away from that, because it's all about, you know what I'm saying, getting that money and being able to show that you can having this bravado, you know what I'm saying, pushing that ego out there that, you know what I'm saying, that this is what you only made for. Just speaking about, you know what I'm saying, relating, relationships and stuff, majority of the people in the black community are just relating from traumas. We all just relating from traumas. Majority of us, you know. A lot of us ain't doing the work. A lot of us are just attached to our trauma so much that we look at it like this is who we are. This is who we have to be in order to survive. A lot of us are in survival mode. We're just straight in survival mode. Totally in survival mode. We walking around on the fence at all times trying to protect ourselves. A lot of the stuff that we are even attached to ain't even ours. That's when it comes down to the generational curses. We holding on to stuff that has been told to us, been taught to us, the programming and all that other stuff in society. Our good girlfriends, our moms, our dads, our aunties, our uncles, our friends. You know, we holding on to other people's emotions and stuff.
This is one of the very small, sneaky ways that women don't realize they make their men feel insufficient. You know, when me and wifey are getting in the car, we have an electronic gate. I already have an agenda, things I need to calculate, check my rear view mirror, put in a GPS, checking the time. All the manly logistical things. Close that gate is blaring through my ticker tape. A lot of times she'll be like, close the gate, baby. The previous version of myself, I could feel his angst, and I got it. Of course I'm gonna close the gate. I don't need to confront these aspects of what can rise into conflict, but I notice it. And if it goes unchecked, those little pockets instill seeds of doubt that our women feel like we are capable, sufficient. Sometimes let me fail first. As non-sinister as it may be, from the woman to the man, our premium job is to protect. Like, baby, make sure you close the gate. I feel the echo of the feeling of a deeper part of myself was not trusted by previous partners, not listened to. There's also the possibility of, yo, watch me do this my way and watch me succeed. It makes me feel good to show you that I got it. I don't even need you to put forth the effort telling me, baby, make sure you close the gate. And a lot of times we don't have the emotional intelligence to even realize, don't you know I'm gonna keep us safe? Don't you know I'm already thinking about that? And start to pile up. And it may not even be a situation where that man will actually address that nuance. Frustration will mount, and when it's time for us to have a disagreement somewhere completely different, that residue is still in that man's system.
And he's totally right. Because let me say this. Men, black men, know how to communicate. We know how to communicate. That's not the issue. Yes, do we have issues expressing ourselves emotionally, understanding our emotions and stuff like that? Yeah, that could be an issue. Communicating, no, that's not. But like I previously said, a lot of people, and just speaking on black women in this moment, already had a certain narrative or a certain emotion projected onto them to feel as though that they can't trust a black man, or they have to always be in this protective mode, or always be on the lookout, or always be in this sort of mothering type of role, that they won't let the man actually live his life, be himself, make mistakes, learn things. It's a large distrust on the black woman's side to feel as though that they can't trust the man to do what he needs to do, or what they actually want him to do, because it may look bad in other people's eyes, or it may be an embarrassment. Like I always talk about it all the time, and on just this aspect of being in a romantic relationship. When a woman is cheated on, what's the first thing that she said? You got me out here looking stupid. You out here embarrassing me. That's the first thing that comes out of their mouth. That's the first thing that comes in their mind. They don't even rush to their feelings first, or of actually processing what happened in that moment. They are solely focused on how they look into somebody else. And that goes on every aspect of their relationship with that man that they have. How are they going to be looking in this moment? It's not about their emotions with their man in that situation. It's their emotions and how they looking to somebody else, to another woman. Men should have the same grace. They should have the same opportunities as women do to be able to learn, to live life, to make mistakes, to grow, to evolve. But because a narrative has been pushed, a projection has been pushed, and emotion has been placed upon another woman, we don't have that luxury. We feel as though that we gotta be perfect 24/7, 24/7. That we can't do no wrong. And when we do wrong, when we make a mistake, something that's totally human at times. And I'm saying something that's totally human at times. I'm not saying that every quote unquote mistake should be given, this total grace, or this total, leeway, because some things shouldn't, especially when you're in that relationship and you're having conversations and you're actually communicating and you're actually pointing things out of what's making you feel bad, what is not a preference for you and stuff like that, then yeah, of course. But it shouldn't be a situation where a man is always feeling as though he's insufficient, that he's not capable, he's not able, he's not worthy. Or he's not enough.
Can your man lead you even when he's learning how to? That's a convicting question right there, because us women, we like information, we like details, because it provides a sense of security and stability.
And she says it right there, starting off. The information and stuff is providing security and all that other good stuff. That's fine. But you can't always be in control in every situation. And from my experiences, women tend to want to be in control in every situation because they don't want to look a certain way, or they don't want to feel any type of pain and stuff like that, because it's like a wave of it coming to them at all times from other experiences that they're hearing from somebody else, or what they're seeing on social media or reality TV or some soap opera or some movie or something like that. So it's ingrained into them that they their life has to be coordinated in a certain way. It has to be routine in a certain way. Their whole romantic love life has to be in a certain routine. And anything that is outside of that or deviates from that routine that they've been shown or been projected upon them from some other woman, that it is not secure. There is no, and that's why I have a problem with that quote unquote soft girl era, because that quote unquote soft girl era is giving a false narrative of what a woman should be doing or what she's supposed to be experiencing and what she's supposed to be feeling. Let me just play the rest of the clip.
This isn't bad. However, it can come from the wrong place. When we know all the details and we got the who, what, when, where, how, why, that's when we will determine if we move or not.
They will only give that man a chance, think that he's sufficient, think that he's worthy, think that he's actually a masculine man if everything goes according to their plan, their routine, or what's been placed upon them. And that's not right, because they have the luxury of going out and making mistakes, trying different things and learning stuff, quote unquote failing or quote unquote succeeding, or just producing a result of something.
But is that what it actually means to be led? When we have this mentality, we will unknowingly, number one, put a standard of perfection on that man. And number two,
a perfection on him. We gotta be shooting 10 for 10. We gotta be shooting 10 for 10. We can't miss no free throws out here. We can't miss no free throws out here, or we going to the bench. We going to the bench. Damn, that's the first burp. Burp number 2. We going to the bench, or we getting cut. We getting released. It's over. It's over. He ain't shit. Girl, he ain't this. He can't do this. He ain't no man. He ain't no real man. He a bum. All that.
Will not give him room to grow as a leader. When you read the Bible, it says God told Abraham to leave his father and his mother's house and go into a land that he will show him. Now, I don't want to focus so much on Abraham. I want us to look at the life of Sarah. She followed her man even when she did not have that much information. And that must be something that we commend her for, right? So the revelation that she got out of this, the revelation that she had, and which I believe many of us women need to grab on hold to, is, can your trust be so deeply embedded in God that the trust that you have for your man is in the knowing that God will lead him?
That's a big thing. And I talked about this all the time, man. And I realized this at a young age, that just off of my experiences with my parents and stuff like that, that I don't, and a lot of people don't have true faith or trust in God because of the experiences that they have with their parents, particularly with their father, because of how the narrative is spewed out there in the world that God is a man and God is our father. So we look at God and be like, you know what I'm saying? We have this term embedded in our head that God is our father. But then some people don't have good relationships with their father, don't even know their father and all that other stuff. So there's naturally it's not going to be any trust. They ain't going to have no faith in them. So what do you think that's going to have? How you think that relationship is going to be with God? You're not going to have no faith and no trust in God, your father, because you don't even have trust and faith in your physical father. But ultimately, yes, I think a man can lead while he's learning. You're going to be learning until the day you die. At least you're supposed to, right? You're supposed to. There ain't going to be no perfect paths. There ain't going to be no perfect roads to nothing. Shoot. We driving down the road every day. We hitting potholes, manholes, something going on. Shoot, we don't catch the light. We hit traffic. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I use traffic as a metaphor for life. And it's not perfect. Getting to your destination is not perfect. It's not. One of the things why I'm in traffic all the time, like I'm a pretty aggressive driver, and I like to get to where I'm going. So, you know, it'll be times where, you know what I'm saying, I'll speed, go around somebody or whatever, and get to the light red, and then the person that I speed and go around, they come up right behind me or beside me or whatever. But am I supposed to look at it like, you know, well, maybe I shouldn't be so much in a rush? Sure. Yeah. That's one way of looking at it. But another way of looking at it is sometimes you get into that destination, you get into that end goal, you get into that the end of that goal or that challenge may be different than somebody else who has that same goal or that same challenge or that same dream. But you're not supposed to be dictating somebody else's pathway, somebody's speed or rate when they supposed to get to it. You're just supposed to be worried about yourself. And that's one thing that we don't do, because we so in this era of not trusting each other, of not feeling secure, holding our security or placing our security in somebody else's hands and stuff, that we just can't walk our path, let the other person walk their path, come together however we supposed to come together, compromise, communicate, all that other stuff, and see where it leads us. No, we don't want to do that because we so in a rush of trying to control things. And that's what the social media era is doing. It's hiding the situation. Like the stuff always been there. Social media is like any other substance, any other drug out here. It just heightens it. Like this stuff has always been there. Just like how they say you when you get money and the way that you act is always the person that you was. But when you get some form of power, that's the person you always was. Like that it always been there. Those thoughts, those perceptions, those actions, all that stuff always been there. But now it's just heightened. A lot of people, when they drink, what they do, they get more loose, they get more open, and they say it's the truth serum. You become more yourself. And you see how these people act when they getting drunk. You see how these people act when they getting high. Who are they really acting like? Are they more anxious? Are they more rambunctious? Do they calm down and chill and relax? Are they more funny and stuff like that? Next clip.
What women need to know about men is that men are very sensitive, because in being the giver, you are completely dependent on the receiver to make what you give valid. So if the woman does not appreciate or accept what he's giving and makes conditions like, don't give me that, give me something else, or don't give it this way, give it some other way, it frustrates the masculine instinct of the man, and they withdraw and just give up.
I'm going to play that again because as short as it was deep as hell.
What women need to know about men is that men are very sensitive, because in being the giver, you are completely dependent on the receiver to make what you give valid. So if the woman does not appreciate or accept what he's giving and makes conditions like, don't give me that, give me something else, or don't give it this way, give it some other way, it frustrates the masculine instinct of the man, and they withdraw and just give up.
We shut down. We just straight shut down. We straight shut down if we don't feel like we're being appreciated for the things that we are doing. We gotta be up. We gotta, you know what I'm saying, live up to the standard of what's out here, or, you know what I'm saying, competing with another relationship, or with another dude that's on social media talking some good shit, or pandering or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just never no situation where we will actually feel appreciated for the things that we are doing. So we will shut down when we speaking our feelings, speaking our emotions, or trying to be vulnerable in the moment, and we're saying that, you know what I'm saying, we're being told we're being soft, or we don't matter, or we'll, in the moment, it's seeming as though that what we're saying is mattering, but then the same actions keep coming out. We keep getting the same results from the things that we doing or saying. You know, like in the clip, he was talking about we're dependent. We're dependent upon what we're getting, you know, what we're giving and what we're getting. You know, we're dependent upon, we out here, whatever we do, it's just like we running a race of no end. There's no end result in this race, because once we jump over that first hurdle, we thinking the finish line coming, and here come another hurdle, another one.
Beings need to feel needed, men more so than women, because men can't seem to justify their own existence. So unless they're needed, useful, productive, making a difference, they can't tolerate their own being. A man, when he gets married, needs to know that he is useful, necessary, important, that he is needed. So the worst thing a wife can say to her husband is, never mind, I'll do it myself. Anything the husband offers, accept it graciously, give him credit for it, even if it's not exactly what you need from him. But if you accept what he's giving, then you can move him to what you really need from him. But if you reject what he's giving, he'll quit. You emasculate him.
On the 100 episode, Son from 3 Stars 2 Bars was saying that. He was like, you know, getting these compliments, this appreciation and stuff will fuel you. And that's for anybody. It'll fuel you. Like, why can't we have that same why can't we have those same things? You know, why we can't get that same space? Why we can't get them that same grace? I hate saying these words over and over again. But like, the era that we living in is like, these are the words that's just being thrown around all the time or whatever. And I hate having them in my head so much, because it's like stifling my vocabulary. But yeah, these type of things that not feeling appreciated and stuff like that, it emasculates us. It makes us feel insufficient. It makes us feel like, you know what I'm saying, we just a tool. It makes us feel like, you know, what's the purpose of us even being here? Like, that's why the suicide rate is so high with black men, because we feel as though that we have no worth. We feel that we got to be perfect 24/7. We can't get no type of like appreciation, no congratulations, no love, no nurturing, no care for nothing that we do, you know. And just going back, piggybacking off of a couple of clips ago, you got to just let men do their thing. You know, I've seen plenty of clips on social media all the time about this, you know what I'm saying? You ask a man to do something, but 5 minutes later, if he ain't do it, then you just jump and do it. Why you just can't let him do him? Why you just can't let him be him? You got to
we're taught to pursue women.
Yes.
We're taught that, like, look, no, and I know how it sounds. Roll with me for a moment. Look at what we're taught about love through fantasy. The woman is always trapped somewhere. The man always has to go on some long conquest. She becomes the prize immediately upon rescuing her, and he becomes a hero immediately upon rescuing her, not by providing for her after, not by maintaining a house for her after. She doesn't have to do for him. It's all about the game. So when he talk about a man wanting a damsel in distress, that's what most of us were taught to want. You have to unlearn things like that. A man has to sit with himself long enough to say, who am I for real?
Right.
And what do I actually bring to the table to where I don't need a woman to validate what I got going on? But to sit up here and villainize a man for doing what we taught to do, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah. And that's what I talk about with the programming and stuff. We live in this Disney world where you got the princesses and the Prince Charmings coming to save them and stuff like that. But there's nothing after that. There's no story after that. You know, there's no story of the woman, you know what I'm saying, appreciating the man for what he did and the things that, you know what I'm saying, he can do in the future and anything like that. And like I was saying, like men, we caught up into that as well. Our whole identity is wrapped around being this just protector and provider. Nothing else. We can't be a human. We can't have dreams. We can't have goals or whatever. That's why a lot of people, men and women, just jump and want to take on a certain career and stuff like that because of the ideal of it, what it represents in society as opposed to what they really want to do. And with us men, we just so caught up into this chase. That's what we've been told to look at it as. We gotta chase. But there's plenty of men out here who got options and who can have options based off of their looks, you know what I'm saying, their money, their cars and all that other stuff. And just their personalities, and you know what I'm saying, being able to make somebody laugh, their intelligence and stuff like that. But we don't run to those internal things. We run to the external things, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of men out here just scraping and surviving. You know, we gonna work ourselves to the bone just so we can say that we taking care of our woman, we taking care of our kids. And not saying that there's nothing wrong with that, but can we, you know what I'm saying, actually have some enjoyment in life? And like it says in the clip, we villainized if we do something outside of that. You know what I'm saying? If we not portraying this fantasy or this Disney role, so to speak. But that just speaks to, you know what I'm saying, the trauma. And piggybacking on last episode when I was talking about how when I referenced myself and how that particular post about, you know, a man growing up with a mom who's didn't show a lot of affection or whatever, and he pretty much grows up and is attracted to that same type of woman, and he's living that same life. He's basically become a giver or a chaser. He's trying to please his partner in any type of way. And this could go for women as well, chasing after that dad. You know what I'm saying? That dad role or that dad wound. You got your mom wounds and your dad wounds. And that goes on both sides. It's guys out here, you know what I'm saying, trying to fulfill that through their boys. There's women trying to fulfill that mother wound through their girlfriends or whatever, through their daughters, and guys through their sons, living through them and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That all speaks to childhood trauma. And I'm a clear example, as I've talked about plenty of times, that, you know, all this stuff becomes a conditional task, or it becomes transactional, or it's conditional love. You seeking conditional love. and you living your whole life chasing after something because you never fully build up your self-confidence or your self-worth or your self-esteem and stuff like that. It's just it's sad, you know. And a lot of people always look at it like childhood trauma is only sexual abuse and stuff like that, but that's not the only thing that it involves, you know. It comes through emotional and mentally as well, you know. Your parents belittling you, you know, calling you out your name, projecting whatever feelings that they have to your mom or your dad onto you because you may remind them of them, or you may look like them, or you just may be the person there at the moment that they can only take that out on. That's stuff that I've experienced before. You know, it isn't always just centered in physical abuse. It can be emotional and mental as well. Shoot, it can be other ways, moving around a lot. You know what I'm saying? Not having a stable home. You know, not having enough food, not seeing your parents struggle financially and stuff like that. These are things that you have to take heed of. You know what I'm saying? These are things that you have to be aware of. And so why am I always on the move? Why am I always moving from job to job? Why am I always hustling to get a dollar? Why I got all these jobs or whatever? You know, why I'm always chasing after these type of women? Why am I always chasing after these type of men? Stuff like that, you know? These are parent wounds, childhood trauma. It's unfortunate, it's sad to have to experience this stuff, but that's what's out here. That's particularly in the black community. You know, that's part of our culture. But let me move on. I came across this post and I thought it was relevant to the theme of the episode, the conversation as a whole. So it says, this one is from social media influencer Kittie Rose. I played a couple of clips of her plenty of times on the pod. And this is the caption that she had. It says, and if you have sons, think about how your negative orientation to men will impact them. It says, to my lovely vice versa women, how can you desire to be in a relationship with a man and pretend he doesn't have feelings? How can you deny that your behaviors and actions can impact him just as his can impact you? Is it hard to see that you are not perfect? No one is perfect. Just because you're not perfect doesn't mean you're deficient. When addressing men's feelings in videos, what's driving your need to comment vice versa? And even outside of videos, I know she's talking about social media videos because you see that all the time. I know I see it on Twitter all the time, Instagram, that vice versa crap all the damn time. And I get it. But come on now. We got to, it's just always this shit where people don't want to take accountability, people projecting and all that other stuff. Allow people to have their moments. Allow people to be vulnerable. Allow people to express their emotions and stuff like that. But that's not the times. That's not the era we live in, because it always got to be, well, you did this and all that other stuff. Well, you did this that day. People holding on to stuff. You know, it's just never a moment where a man can actually sit there and point his feelings out, or the things that he's experiencing, the things that he has issues with, because something is thrown in his face that's quote unquote similar or something like that. Going back to the Amanda Seales, similar but not the same. More men are walking away from their marriages and relationships due to a lack of respect, appreciation, inclusion, consideration, acknowledgement, or from being treated as a child. And that's what I talked about previously in this episode, about how so many women out here just in this era of not trusting and all that other stuff, and having emotions and narratives and stuff pushed upon them that they feel as though they got a mother or grown ass man. And they'll believe it too. They'll believe that this man is acting like a child because either he's trying to be vulnerable or he's not doing things when they want him to do it, etc., etc. Heal your hurt. All men are not the same. A few bad apples shouldn't spoil the bunch. We need to create more safe spaces for our boys and men. The world is cruel enough to them. And it's a book that I got upstairs. I haven't totally read the book, but it was a portion in it from Ayanna Van Zandt, and she pointed out how, mothers are breeding the actual men that they're complaining about. And I know some women hate hearing that, but it's the truth. Like, mother wounds are like very important. Like, not saying that father wounds and fathers in the household or fathers in your life and stuff aren't important. Both are important. But let's be honest, mothers' relationships with their child, male or female, it's just a different thing. Like, it's funny how some women always want to talk about, how important the mother is when she's giving birth and all this other stuff. But when it comes to being accountable for how that child comes out, then they got to be both parents. Like, I was thinking about it earlier when I was putting the outline together or whatever. And for this particular, that particular portion of this episode or whatever. And I was just thinking about Adam and Eve or whatever, and how, you have Adam and Eve in that conversation from last episode with Devon Franklin, and he was talking about how Eve was already whole, and Adam was basically broken because he gave up his rib for the woman. But that's pretty much been the blueprint of what God put out there from jump. It's still going on today. The seed coming from the man is basically a representation of that rib that Adam gave to Eve to create her. Man is giving his seed, and it's creating life. It's creating life. So the mother definitely has more of a connection to the child because it's in her womb, and it's just a deeper connection. There's something you can't deny. Both parties are important. The man is giving up a part of himself, which is that seed. I don't want to get all deep into it because I want to save that for another episode, but that sperm coming from the man, that takes that point, that just shows you right there when you having sex, and once the man comes to his climax and he comes and all that other stuff, that he's so tired. It's taken, that is a part of our body that's being taken from us. It's the amount of nutrients and energy and stuff that comes from that ejaculation, that sperm, those seeds and stuff. That's a lot taken out of a man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people aren't truly hip to that. They aren't truly connected to the spiritual aspect of this actual making a life in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because we just be running around here and humping everything, and everything is so overly sexualized in the world that we don't even have a spiritual connection to this actual event that goes on. But you know what I'm saying? We're giving up a part of ourselves in order to create life. But that life that we're giving, you know what I'm saying, that life that we're giving up from our bodies is more connected to the woman, So I hate to say it, but the mother is more important than the dad when it comes to the actual connection of that child. So the wounds are much more deeper. I've dated women, and I've seen how the relationship with the woman that I've dated and their mother has been totally bad, and how it affected them more than it actually affected the relationship that they had with their dad. And we know how important it is for little girls to have that relationship with their dad. We know it, and we already know how it is with men, you know what I'm saying, with little boys and stuff with their mother. So it's just something to think about. It's just something to think about. Hey, it's a Taste to Consider. Taste to Consider podcast. Like I said, it's just something to consider. Yeah, but we got to start appreciating each other. Both sides, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to totally make this about, a black man thing, but I am a black man. This is my platform. This is my content. And it is important for us black men to start speaking out more. And that's why I've been saying that I feel as though a lot of people have a problem with the podcast era, but I feel it's given, right or wrong, because some of the stuff that these dudes be saying be wild, and it be wrong, and it be totally negative and stuff like that. But it's good to have these platforms for men to start speaking out, because it's giving people an opportunity, a choice to choose what they want to listen to, choose what path they want to walk down when it comes to dealing with a man and stuff like that. So it's up to y'all what choice y'all gonna make. Hey, like, I've been doing this since 2017, and like, even though I've grown since then, my platform has grown and stuff like that. Popularity is key, and the toxic shit is more popular than the stuff that you see on the internet, where women be claiming that they want dudes to give out positive stuff. But we about to get into that with the next topic. Yeah, it's this influencer on social media. He's heavy on Instagram, and he's a therapist. His name is Kier Gaines. I played stuff of his before, and I referenced him before. And I like, you know what I'm saying, I like the content that he puts out there. He puts out a lot of good content. But something that he put out yesterday that I had a problem with. So we're going to get into that. So let me pull up the clip, and we'll go from there. Let me find that joint. All right, I'm going to have to go to external sources to get it. I thought I saved it. But here we go right here. It ain't hard to find. Here we go. All right, let me start that over again.
Men are not allowed to have full access to their feelings. Can I give y'all a great example of that? We in the house, me and my wife, she's pregnant, and my, at the time, 4-year-old daughter sleep in her room. It's 3 a.m. And we hear, whoop, 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 whoop. The alarm goes off in my house. So I pop up. I got a good handy on me, you know. I got 30 in the mag. Boom. Hit that charger handle. Gang, I'm ready. I go downstairs and checking all the rooms. My heart beating like crazy. I check the living room, we good. I check the kitchen, we good. I walk into the basement, man. My finger trembling a little bit, but I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I go to the basement, I peek around the last corner. The wind opened the door to the garage, messed up the sensor. Closed the joint, locked it. Whew. Sat down for a little bit, let my nerves chill, and I said, wait a minute, I just realized something. Fear is a human emotion. Fear is a natural human emotion. If I put you in a hot room, you're gonna sweat. If I put you in a cold room, you're gonna shiver. If I put you in a room that's anxiety producing, you're gonna have anxiety. If I put you in some scary shit, you're gonna be scared. 2 of us were scared that night. Only 1 of us had permission to feel that. Wow. My wife laid in bed. She was in bed. I couldn't be afraid to the point of inaction. Because if all of us were murdered in that house, and Fox 5 came in, first thing people would have said is why he didn't protect his family. Why he allowed those things to happen to him. What happens to a human being who's not allowed to feel the full scope of their emotions? How does that work? How do you function? How do you grow up from 1 to 5 being the joy and apple of your mama's eye, and as soon as you become a teenager, the issues that she may have with other men, you represent that now. And she could grow to resent you just a little bit. Or maybe your father wasn't there. Or maybe he wasn't hugged enough as a child and told that he was handsome, and told that he was smart, and told that he was capable. But the world around him told him he wasn't shit, so he absorbed that. And that became who he was and how he felt about himself. That pours into you too. Nobody in this room is who they are by chance. Men are not allowed.
And that clip was great. Everything he said in that clip was right. From my perspective, from my experiences, like everything he said in that clip, I understand because I've experienced it before. I understand my father's journey and why his journey was his journey, and why his relationship with me and my relationship with him was the way it was, and how it impacted me. I understand how my mom's life and the things that she went through with my grandfather, with my father, and how it impacted me, how it was projected on me. I understand all of that. I understand how your emotions don't matter. I understand all of that. But what threw me off with this post was the fact that the post was the post was great, excellent, because it resonated with me. It spoke to everything that I understand from my life experiences and what I've seen and heard from other black males' life experiences. But what threw me off with his post was he put in the comment section of this exact post was this, and he pinned it. He said, "I wish that men spent more time making content that humanizes the experiences of other men and less time giving women unsolicited relationship advice." What the hell did that comment have to do with his post? What did that comment have to do with the ultimate message in that post? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And I had a problem with that. And like I referenced plenty of times on the last episode, like I can disagree with anybody and still rock with them, and you know what I'm saying, still be around them, still have a conversation with them, anything like that. Because you're not supposed to agree with everything that everybody says. People going to say some shit that make you feel a type of way, or you don't agree with, or y'all opinions are not going to match, or y'all life path's not going to match, y'all values not going to match. You know what I'm saying? That's what life is supposed to be about, because we're all different people. We all have different experiences, perceptions, paths, all that good stuff. But that post that little comment rubbed me the wrong way. It rubbed me the wrong way because I get tired of these people with this popularity, with these big platforms and stuff like that. And particularly people who are therapists put out comments, posts, videos, content, whatever out there that provide no context and just come off as pandering to a select few or what's popular in the moment. So, coming back to the post, he says, "I wish that men spent more time making content that humanizes the experiences of other men and less time giving women unsolicited relationship advice." Last episode, I talked about how in our quote-unquote community, we all caught up into this independent era movement, this self-love era movement that it displays how we're all for self first, and that every aspect of our interactions are transactional. Like I said, I've been doing this since 2017. I started my mental health blog, and I started the Unproductive and Unapologetic podcast with the guys. And outside of my mental health blog, greatestiamblog.com, one of the main things that I wanted to talk about a lot on the Unproductive and Unapologetic podcast was the mental health aspect of things. That was the role that I was playing in that moment. So I've been doing this for a while. It's 2023. And like I said, my platform has grown a little bit, but it's not where I want it to be or where I feel as though it should be. And I see a lot of people taking advantage of the mental health era, the mental health movement, and using it for their own gain. I don't want my platform to be bigger for me to be popular or to me make money and stuff like that. I want to help people. That's just always where I've been. I've been that way since I've been a little kid. And one of the things that I referenced last episode with the self-love and independent conversation that I had, the clip that I played was how when you get into these spaces where you have this popularity and stuff like that, you have these big platforms or whatever, how are you giving back? And not saying that he's not giving back, because he definitely does. You know, he gives great content and stuff like that. But are you also pulling other people up or putting other people in positions to give their experiences? Because your experiences with mental health is different than somebody else's mental health experience. And I'm not saying this is what he has to do, but this is what I'm just piggybacking off of, because you can't sit here and say that there aren't men out here that aren't making content that's humanizing experiences for other men when there are. You can't just throw that out there without any context. It'd be different if you said, I want to shout out to the other people out here who's putting out this same content and not solely focusing on giving relationship advice. That'd be different. But I can't tell nobody else how to do their thing. I can't tell nobody else how to do their thing. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm giving context to the whole content creator era or space, because I know there's a lot of other dudes out here that's doing the same thing that don't have the same popularity that he has, or some of the other black male therapists or black male mental health advocates out here. One of the other problems that I had with this comment that he put up there was the part about and less time giving women unsolicited relationship advice. That is a comment that is just totally wrong and without context, because we just went through a whole era of Kevin Samuels giving out advice to women that complained about the advice that he gave, but sat there and called him up or got on his live every day, every week, every month for a few years. We just had a time where Steve Harvey pushed a whole book on advice for women on how to be in a relationship with a man. That is part of our quote unquote culture. Black women only listening to black men for relationship advice, but then complaining about the way that the person the man is coming off when they giving this advice. Steve Harvey became a millionaire, best-selling author off of this. Kevin Samuels had a popular ass platform off of this. There's other dudes out here that's doing the same thing that Steve Harvey and Kevin Samuels was doing right now that are popular. You can't say it's unsolicited when the women are putting themselves in position to want to hear this. They may complain, but they'll pop up right back on there every day, every week. Like, I got a problem with you making this statement on a post that was so great. I got a problem with it. Like, come on now. Like, unsolicited relationship advice, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And I would say that to his face. I mean, it ain't trying to be no beef or nothing like that, but he wrong for saying that. He wrong for pandering to these women that believe this stuff. My podcast, not the biggest podcast in the world or anything like that. Who is the majority of my listeners? Women. Women outnumber men on my podcast. Listeners. Women. Shout out to all of y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all support. But we got to be real about this. Women are the consumers. Women are the highest consumers of everything when it comes to content, material, stuff, all of that. That's just what it is. So you can't sit here and say that it's unsolicited when women keep coming to listen to it or engage in these conversations or these debates and stuff like that. I just don't get the purpose. I would really love to ask him, what was the purpose of you putting that comment under your post? But this is why I say, like, we all human. All these people in these positions, whether they're therapists, doctors, lawyers, whatever, they human just like us. So we all have these moments where we want to pander to people. We want to please people. We feeling ourselves in the moment, and we just jumping, running, saying some shit that will heighten that feel good feeling. But let me move on. Shout out to him though. He does have some great content. He does, but I was just perplexed by this particular situation right here. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. But let me get to, you know what I'm saying, I've highlighted a few black women therapists on my podcast that talk down to black dudes. And I've had this content for a minute, and I kept forgetting to play it on the show, but this is the perfect time, and it came up right when it was supposed to. So I'm going to play this content from this black woman therapist that's actually, you know, speaking some good, you know, for black men. So let me pull this up. I got this right here. It's two parts to it. I'm going to start with the first part, of course. Here we go.
Ms. Dr. Raquel Martin. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, assistant professor, and scientist. And here are the top complaints I hear from black men in therapy. This list is not exhaustive, but I have found with the majority of my black men that are patients, there is some vein of this within their treatment. Number one, and you guessed it, it is emotional expression. A lot of times I will have patients come into therapy, black men come into therapy because it has been recommended for them to come into therapy, and they did not realize that they have had a significant issue with affect identification to the point where it's starting to deteriorate their relationships until someone's like, I cannot deal with this with you anymore. I love you, and you need to go see someone or I'm out. Another one is learning how to advocate for themselves, and not in the way that you would think. Some individuals, like a lot of my black men patients, they will describe scenarios where they are objectively being treated inappropriately, objectively being invalidated, objectively are being told that their feelings don't matter. They're just there to serve a purpose, which is either like money or sex, or just to complete tasks, and thinking that that's normal for them. And sometimes they're legit trying to find a way to adjust themselves to these expectations and have no semblance, no thought process of realizing that they are more than what they can provide.
More, yes.
Numbing behaviors. Or just feeling numb. I've had a significant amount of Black men patients state that they're having difficulty feeling.
Yeah, we on autopilot. I've been going to therapy for over 10 years, and I've had multiple therapists tell me that I've been living life on autopilot. I just been going. And that's what a lot of men doing. Like I said earlier, scrape, and we just working and dying and just going. We just scraping, scratching, and surviving. Good times. Look, this is the programming right here. Good times. We scratching and surviving. That's the life that we live. A lot of us men are living on autopilot, and I still deal with that to this day. A lot of my life is routine. A lot of my life is routine to the point where it's not even a thought. I just go. Like, I've gone through as a young boy without having any type of affection, any type of, admiration, any type of affirmation. So that's what my adult life has been. I've spent a lot of time alone as a kid, so I spent a lot of time alone as an adult. But here's part 2.
Like anything, like using more substances, increase risky behavior, increase dangerous behavior, other numbing behaviors like consistently on video games, and like just being like, I
Yep,
do
video
not enjoy
games,
stuff anymore.
sex, drinking,
And I don't know why.
weed.
There has also been,
It was to the
and I'm gonna tell
point.
y'all,
Let me stop the
when men
video.
are going to therapy.
It was to the point where my mentor had to tell me that, like, you got to chill on going to the gym. Because I was in the gym all the time. I mean, I'm still in the gym all the time, but I have a different mindset around it now. But it was to the point where he told me, like, you putting so much energy and effort into your physical appearance that you are not putting any energy into the spiritual, the mental, and emotional. This was like before I was going to therapy and stuff like that. I was just going to work, going to the gym, going to work, going to the gym, going to work, going to the gym. I wasn't putting no energy into my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual health. I was just going to work and going to the gym. This was before I was going to therapy. Now I go to therapy. I got my spiritual stuff intact. I got my routines on that or whatever, my emotional stuff. And I still go to the gym now. So by me putting all of that stuff in place, now I have it allowed me to have a different outlook on my physical health. So now I don't even have the same thoughts around the physical aspect of it, trying to compete with how other dudes and how big they are, how much they lift and all that other stuff. Like, I got a blog that I've been working on for a while just based off of that physical portion of my life, and how I had to come to terms with how I actually looked at myself physically and actually how I wasn't embracing myself physically and stuff like that. But that all tied to my mental, emotional, and spiritual health. But let me finish the clip.
There's also been an influx of individuals they realize something is off. They realize they don't handle certain things well, and they're trying to improve themselves before they connect with someone else. Mm-hmm. This is the thing, y'all. They go into therapy. Coming to therapy, these Black men being like, listen, I can acknowledge that the previous relationships didn't all end because of the other person. I can also acknowledge that I want a relationship. However, I know that I am not ready for a relationship. So, like, doc, let's get it. I just wanted to share this because, yes, it is men's mental health.
We feeling as though that we got to be perfect before we can even feel as though we're worthy of anything that can make us happy, you know what I'm saying, or can improve our life. You know, it's sad, man. And I see it, you know, I've seen it with myself, and I still see, you know what I'm saying, I still see residue. Um, Things I still need to improve, you know, things that I still are triggered by situations and stuff like that where I have opportunities to use my therapy. And I see it in guys around me or whatever. But, you know, the way things are set up with us, you can't, a lot of times you can't even say nothing to them because you'll be hating. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I don't know. It's crazy.
Month, and as someone who specializes in Black mental health, I want you men to understand that this list is not exhaustive. You can also just come to therapy because you want to have someone to talk to and have a therapeutic alliance with someone
Yep.
that does not invalidate you. There's no
That
specific
doesn't
reason to go.
invalidate you. Yes, because majority of the time, well, I ain't gonna say majority of the time. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I don't even be talking about the trauma or the all that my childhood and all the things I've gone through. I'll be talking about work and stuff like that, and just having a space where, you know, I can just say what's on my mind and not feel like I'm gonna be judged after it and shit. You know what I'm saying? But that was Raquel Martin. She's on Twitter, Raquel Martin, PhD, and that clip that I played from her was from her TikTok page, and her TikTok is
Anything.
Her TikTok is, let me
Using more
see.
substances.
Yeah, her TikTok is the same handle, Raquel Martin, PhD. So, yeah, that was a breath of fresh air to actually see a Black woman therapist. You know what I'm saying? Not make make Black men feel like crap. But I'm coming upon the 2-hour mark. I had a couple of more stuff that I was going to talk about, but I feel like this is a good time to end this episode 102. I appreciate, you know, all the listeners, all the followers, all the new subscribers, and all that other stuff. And, you know, I've talked about this plenty of times before. I get frustrated with, you know, my lack of growth and stuff like that, and this podcast is like one of the main portions of my life that helps me, you know, grow and evolve and work through a lot of, you know, things that I talk about in therapy and stuff like that. So, although I do ask people to like, download, share, subscribe, follow, and all that other stuff, that's just part of the tagline, the talk at this point. I'm to the point where, you know, I'm working through not asking, not begging, and all that other stuff for people to support me. It's going to be what it's going to be. And what I've learned from doing podcasts is that people outside of the people that are closest to you and that you know are going to support you harder than the people, you know, it just is what it is. So, yeah, I'm on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Amazon Music, YouTube. I got the Taste Reviews Drink Edition on YouTube, only on YouTube. So episode 3 I just released. Check that out. I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, all the love. You know, I'm just gonna keep doing what I gotta do until God tells me it's time to let the podcast go. But shout out to everybody. It's a Taste to Consider podcast. I'm your host, Derek Silver, and I'm out.